Hey everyone, welcome back to the Tres Jolie channel or my channel. I am getting ready to work on my second cards, tags, and more project. And then just as soon as I find, there it is, this is going to be a couple of interactive cards. I have this die here for it's a magic window slider card. So I have a die for that, and a second interactive card is going to be a cut file. I got it at an Etsy store. I kind of forgot to pull it up real quick. Okay, it's from Precious Delights for You, and it is a shutter iris. Gosh, I can't remember the name of it now either. Let me look. The Magic Iris, that's what it's called. It's Precious Delights for You Etsy store, and it is the Magic Iris. I will link to her Etsy store so you can get it. I will not do the assembly for the Magic Iris card because she has a video of her own that you get the instructions for if you buy her cut file. So I'll do my window slider card, and I think those are the only two cards that I'm gonna do. We'll see how it goes along. Maybe I'll do a couple different ones of each just to see, but there'll be at least one that's a window slider and at least one Magic Iris. Okay, so what I'm working with, I have some whole sheets left from that Graphic 45 Christmas Time 8x8 pad. I just put all my smaller pieces that I've already cut into, I have in this baggie here. These are the parts that are left over from that explosion box from the first week. I have a couple flowers left. I have my itty bitty little wreath left, the Tres Jolie chipboard candy canes, and these chipboard pieces that were from that chipboard sheet. So I'm going to go and cut out my pieces, and I'm going to go cut out the iris card pieces, which is it's an SVG, and then I'm going to come back and talk about this assembly and show the iris. I have my pieces all cut out. I'm gonna go over where I'm at right now. This is great, vastly enlarged. The original size file, all of the pieces fit on an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. For mine, I don't even know, I can't say how much I enlarged it. I made it so that the inner circle was around 4 inches because I plan on having those chipboard candy canes underneath the shutters. So I just used some, and this is some pretty hefty cardstock. It's thicker than the Graphic 45 paper. From my stash to cut out the pieces that aren't visible, but I still kind of wanted to keep the colors Christmassy, so I just happened to have 3 pieces of this shade of red. So I cut out one of the rings, I cut out the tab ring and the other tab ring. So the mechanism ring and the tab ring are cut out of this red paper. I cut the surface ring that will be visible out of the sheet of one of the sheets that has those Christmas trees on it. The Christmas trees will be on top. And then my shutters, I did 3 in the plaid, 3 in those green leaves, so that they will be like that. Now, I'm not going to show the assembly because, as I said, the lady who has this cut file, you buy the cut file and you get a link to her assembly video. And she has a, she also has a video for if you're importing the SVG into the Cricut design space. Silhouette Studio just opens SVGs right up. There's not really a process. But I will tell any other Silhouette users on these shutter pieces, if you were to go and just cut, go straight to the cutting, these would try to cut out as the full square. Fortunately, I noticed where the cut lines were before I ever sent it to my machine. But it is a simple fix. Just go back into the design space and select your shutter piece and the 2 squares and weld them. And that will give you just the 3-sided cuts. So that's this one, which I'm gonna put it together and then kind of go from there. For this card, I have not cut out these yet because I'm probably going to replace like this top circle with a piece of chipboard from the kit or something. I'm just going to kind of talk about what I have. This die is the surface of your card. So if you were looking at a card already made, this is the surface. And this one is the tab die, and it is the one that will be the behind the picture, so that when you spin it, then it'll switch to this one. And I just used this one, and I very carefully have it centered. I might trim it down a little bit more, but I will keep it centered. And this one, I just positioned that die over the image that I wanted to use. I will come back to this one in a minute, though. Oh, I will. I actually have no idea what this is for in the kit. Maybe a backing. I really don't know. I found a video. I will link to the video. They don't use it in the video. This is for your center cover here. It'll be like that, which is why I haven't cut it yet, because I may use a piece of the chipboard. And this is so you can have a paper brad and a donut, which goes through the back side. The brad would come up, poke through, and then have this over it. But I may go see if I have a brad that has a flat surface and use that. I'm not sure yet. So that's why I haven't cut these smaller pieces out. But I do want to talk about my candy canes. I am going to emboss my candy canes. I have this is some Blossom Bud chalk ink. I think that's what quick dry fluid chalk ink. It was in the November 2019 scrapbooking kit. And I have this Holly Berry Red Gold Lindy's Gain embossing powder. It was in one of the limited edition kits for the 3-year anniversary sale from Tres Jolie. So and I have gold from my stash. This is going to be my bow. So I kind of want to separate my bow so I don't get this chalk ink on it. And I'm just going to use some washi tape to protect that bow edge, just like that. And just like that. Let me hold it up here real quick. And so I just have the edges between the bow and the candy cane with a little bit of protection so that I can ink quicker. You don't have to do this, but it would, if you wanted to keep this ink off your bow, it would be slower work for me. It would be slower work for me. Other people may be faster. So I'm just going to ink this up real quick. Use this red embossing powder and heat it up. You can see it changes colors depending on how the light hits it. You can see that red in there and that gold. And I had thought about changing what color to use on the bow, but I do think I just want a straight gold on there. So for this, I am actually going to use I have some there we go. I have an emboss it pen. And I am just going to color in with that emboss it pen where I want that gold to go. And there you have it. And now, even though it looks all gold, when you change the lighting on it, your bow will stay gold, but your candy canes will show that red. So, I'm just going to set that off to the side right now. And I am going to put this together and then kind of decide exactly how I want to do my center for this one, and then come back and assemble this one for you. Okay, even though I was gonna originally put this one together, after completing this huge shutter to make a very big card, I'm going to make it the card front. This is just some it was 12 by 12 paper, or cardstock from my stash, and I cut it down to 8 1/4 inches, and then just left this the full 12, and then scored at 8 1/4 inches. And I'm going to have them folded over like this. So first, let me put these two halves together. There's this card base, and I'm going to build up because it's kind of a hefty card. This is just one of the full-size sheets. I just trimmed off the top there, and I'm going to put it on here in just a minute to kind of cover this seam up on the front. I kind of want to do this along the edge, or along it there. I am just going to trim off a couple pieces just to go in, just to the be hid under there. Now that I kind of have that in place, let me move my candy canes out of the way. And I'm thinking I'm going to actually sew. I'm going to tack this down real quick, but I'm going to go and I'm going to use some gold thread in my sewing machine and stitch these together. And then when the time comes to make the inside of the card, I will print out, I'm thinking probably print out my inside on some kind of nicer paper, some of the cotton blend printer paper, maybe some printer friendly vellum, and then I will put that on the inside, if that's kind of making sense there. Right now I'm really focused on getting this outer together, just so it's prepared for personalization. Alright, I just put a single row line using gold thread all the way around this front. And now I'm gonna grab my Fabri-Tac, and first I'm going to I want to measure in how far I will need it approximately. And get this about centered. See how long. There we go. And with those trimmed down, just going to get them glued on and just sort of held down in place. I'll weigh them down with something until that Fabri-Tac sets up. Okay, I was thinking, and this is just one of the circles that was cut out over here, And you can use any type of adhesive, double-sided tape. I just have this half sheet of an adhesive sheet left. And I'm just going to put it on this circle, well, part of it on the circle. And get some adhesive on here. Kind of want to add a little bit of some sparkle. I'm going to do something I rarely do. I'm going to get glitter. Alright, I'm just going to use, this is just a fine glitter crystal, Martha Stewart. Gonna take a look, make sure that I can see adhesive all over this. There's a little bit right here that didn't quite catch, so I'm just going to use my tape gun here just to kind of catch any holes in that adhesive. There I have it. I still have the red showing through, but that glitter lightened it and gave it some sparkle. So now it is about time for me to put the rest of this card front together. Gonna open that up. And I'm mostly eyeballing my center here, actually. There's that. And now I know where I'm going to be putting this in. Get my glue out. And coat the back of this. There we go. And I'm gonna use this to push everything down. And I think, just to make sure I don't have glitter going everywhere, I'm just brushing it off over my trash area. And there I have that. And now I have some foam 3D foam dots here on the back, and I made sure that I used my smaller ones and kept them relatively centered between those slots so that they wouldn't interfere with the movement of the mechanism. So I'm going to peel these off and I'm going to put this in place. Now I'm just going to pop my embossed candy canes here in the center, just using my regular quick dry glue and getting them put in there. And there you have this. And I am almost done. And I'm not worried about any glue that seeped out from around here when I put it down, because my glue does dry clear. I'm just going to go and see what I have in my chipboard from the kit that I could maybe put on the little tab sticking out here. And now I'm just going to let the glue dry. Under here I put the little one that says "'Tis the Season." Alright, there it is. I put that. Just set it on there with a good amount of glue. So I'm going to set this off to dry. And this card is done. The only thing left would be some personalization on the inside. Okay, time to start putting this one together. I have my card surface here, which was the die without the tab. And I have the picture that would be behind when it spins. It'll be the one that shows with the tab. And I'm going to kind of start putting them together. I don't think I will be using this. I might. It depends on if I can find a piece of... I kind of really like this piece of chipboard right here. But it's a little bit bigger and I don't want to take up too much. So if I were to use it, I might have to kind of trim it by hand. And I might end up doing that. Because as you can see, the little Santa face fits in there just perfectly. So I may put this as that center, but I'll have to trace it out and then cut it by hand. This I have not decided yet if I can find a flat brad. My brads aren't the most organized things, so it's kind of hard to see. So now to try to put this together. You're gonna want your back piece. There is a slot that goes around this way, and you want to stick this tab through and then make sure it's all the way to the right. I'll put a link to the video, and I did find out it's Angela Pools. I don't know if you can find them anymore, but I will have that in the blog about where this came from. So I have my piece in here. You can see when it's over here, it's right side up. Well, over here, it's right side up. If I go there, haha. Okay, so then I will move it all the way over here. And I still want to, and I need to keep my center circles even. And then just pick up each tab from the front and stick them in one of the little slots on this back piece. Okay, I kind of had to start. I will link the video I found that explains it, but you basically tuck those the tips of here into those slots that are on that back piece, and you just work your way around. And if you have a little star shape coming up here, then we're just gonna guess you're doing it right. That is your slide, and you should be able to slide it. Oop. There we go. And that will be what happens. So now I'm going to put this back, because this is where that self-adhesive donut, this right here, well, I guess you put it on some like double-sided paper, double-sided tape, so it's self-adhesive, not a liquid glue, so that your liquid glue doesn't seep into the little slats. And then you put that down like so. So I'm gonna go cut. I am gonna go cut these out real quick. The little brad, just out of some of the smaller piece of the cardstock I have, one of the little scrap pieces, and I'm gonna stick this onto a piece of. Just gonna tear off a little piece of double-sided tape to turn that into a self-adhesive little washer ring thing. All right, I have my pieces cut out. Stick that over there. Gonna pop them out of their dies. There we go. And I'm gonna take my little green I made, my donut, and line up that hole and stick it down in place. So there we are now. And then this paper brad, you just fold the ends up, and it actually goes up through the bottom. And I'm just gonna go this way because it did have a little bit of the tape on it. It goes up through the bottom. There's that. So on these ends that get pushed down, right here and right here, just grab up some more double-sided tape. I'm just going to use, this is just some 1/8 inch double-sided tape I have. That way I can keep it small. Now, if you just wanted to put a little paper there, this circle fits right there very nicely, but I am going to trim this chipboard down, and I am just going to line this up. And actually, I think if I follow this inner gold border between the green, that border right there, then that is going to be just the right size for me. I'll kind of clean up those edges just a little bit, but for the most part, I think I managed to cut it pretty good. And then I can put this little Santa here. And I don't want to glue it down tight. I don't want to put glue over the whole back. I'm just going to attach it very well to where those brads are at, where the brad ends come out. Maybe a little bit, nope, just let me see here, because you want it to be able to move like so, see? So only on where there's some green or those brads, not overlapping onto this top paper. My little Christmas card magic window front all done. set that off to the side and start thinking about the base that I will be attaching this to. I am getting ready to put my card all together. I just pulled out this old piece of metallic 12 by 12 paper. It's from the linen closet stack from Die Cuts with a View. I don't know if that stack exists anymore. I have had this a very, very, very long time. Very long time. I just cut it in half. Oh, I trimmed this down so that it's 5.5 inch square. Trimmed off little bits there so that I could just cut my 12 by 12 in half, so it's 6 inches, fold it in half, and just make a 6-inch square card. And now I am going to go over to my sewing machine like I did with the other card and stitch on with some gold metallic thread. I'm going to be careful. I'm going to hold this in place, or I'm going to actually, I think I am going to kind of use a very, very small pieces of double-sided tape so that it will not slide around on me while I'm sewing. I mean, I don't want to glue it all down since I'm going to be sewing on, and I have to be careful not to get it near any of the mechanisms. So I'm just going to stick some in these larger areas like so. That way it will stay in place. My sewing machine needle won't hit, and it won't slide while I'm sewing. Alright, there you have it. Just a simple straight stitch all the way around. Holding this down. Making sure might have to adjust a little bit here. Yes, I will. These, I'm going to hold it up. These little tabs that go under this edge hit these stitches, so I'm actually going to kind of fake this part. I'm going to loosen these stitches up real quick so that it will slide, and then kind of recover it up with some bling that I had already pulled out to use. So another thing to keep in mind, I didn't think about those hitting an area. So I'm just using an X-Acto knife to loosen things up until I get it turning right again. There we go. Ha! Something to keep in mind. If you haven't figured it out, I've had this die actually for quite a while, maybe a year or so, and this is actually the first time I've used it. I don't know why. Sometimes I put things away and I forget I have them. Most of the time I put things away and forget I have them. Anyhow, I'm gonna trim those up underneath. The inside I'm just leaving blank so that I can print out on maybe some vellum or some cotton blend paper like the other one I would do. My Christmas sentiments. So this is spinning freely now. I have these little gemstones which I am now definitely putting down here along this bottom. And I have the package, there they are. It was a bling roll. It came in the April 2020 mixed media kit. This is the last bit of length I have left. So I thought on my quest, my current quest to try to use up stuff I have already, I thought I'd just add a little bit of shine to these. And I'm also, this little tab, think I'm going to kind of add some to that as well, just so that it stands out just a little bit more. So let's see how much I have. Maybe I can do the top and the bottom and the little tab. And I can. I think I'll put some rhinestones here, some rhinestones here, and some rhinestones here. And that should finish off this. My second card is now done. You can see that bling along the bottom. There we go. Along the top there, I added some to the tab, and I had 2 left over, so I just popped them up on those goggles that are on that center chipboard piece. Now, technically, I could use this, except it's glued down, so I would literally be picking them off. Just thought I'd throw that in there as an option. If you wanted a few extra single ones, and you have this, you can just take them off. I, however, am probably not going to. So, for this project, I have made 2 fairly good sized interactive Christmas cards that are all ready for some personalization inside. I hope you enjoyed these cards and they gave you some ideas of what can be done with the papers and chipboard found in this month's Cards, Tags, and More kit. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you will always know when new projects are uploaded or when the kit reveal comes at the beginning of the month. Thank you, and I will see you again next week.